Hello and welcome to Doing Business in Rwanda. My name is Michael Gishari. Now, on this particular episode, we intend to look into Rwanda's horticulture industry. Now, it's been quoted the untapped industry, but we did see this particular sector making close to $21 million as of 2017 from $12 million as of 2016, but we don't necessarily know how much it takes to grow a flower. We don't know how much challenges they meet. We don't know when the industry is on the boom. But on this particular episode, we intend to get a quick look at all of this and bring it to you. This is Doing Business in Rwanda. The Gishari flower park was earmarked by the Rwandan government in a move to mobilize investment in Rwanda's floriculture industry. The park that houses Bella flowers sits on a 100-hectare piece of land with only 20 hectares used under greenhouse facility so far.
Out of the phase 1, 35 hectare land, 20 hectare was utilized under the greenhouse conditions. So 20 hectare is planted already. We have 16 varieties, 5 basic different colors: white, red, yellow, orange and pink. So out of this 20 hectare, almost 19 hectare, 19.5 hectare is in production. Last 1 hectare still young, not in production. So we are getting 100,000 stems every day. 100,000 stems every day. So that comes around 2.5 to 3 tons. And you can say 2.5 tons. So 17 tons per week, that is our export. Right now we are exporting 4 times in a week. So you can say 100,000 into 30. So it's a 3 million, on average 3 million production per month. So in a year, we have forecasted 36 million production.
To date, over 16 varieties of roses are grown in the country. Each of these roses have different colors, head sizes, and mainly require certain agroclimatical conditions and care to produce high-quality yields.
First, we grow flowers. After growing them, we irrigate them, and after watering them, we spray them with pesticides. There are, however, different activities that are mandatory that we have to do until the flowers are ready for harvesting. These activities include bending. Bending is done after 45 days. When we bend them, new stems come out of the ground, and those are the ones that grow into the final product for the market. So the ones we bend are basically food for the new stems. We also cut off the overgrown and unwanted stems to the other rose stems to grow taller and have bigger heads. We also do selective bending, where we get all the smaller stems and bend them to give more growing space for the rest of the stems.
Rwanda is very, very lucky, that I can say for sure. The weather here, we rarely go for a month without rain. So there is constant supply of water because one, there is a lake. We have a dam as a reservoir where we pump our water to the dam. And there is also rainwater. So the dam is constantly being refilled.
Blossom flowers are not considered a market quality. So to prevent this, they're taken into pre-cooling to curb faster opening, which is mostly a result of warmer temperatures from the greenhouses.
From pre-cooling now, they go to the tables, whereby we have sorters, and we have people that the sizers looking at the size. They look at the size, then they give to the sorters to sort the grades and the qualities and the opening of the flowers, the color, because the color variation sometimes do occur due to exposure of light. And then they go from the sorters, then they go to the graders. The graders also play the same part as a buncher. So they will grade per length, and they will grade per head size and quality and put them in a bunch. The standard bunch is of 10. And put that nicely in an SFK packaging, and that is the kind of bunch that is put again in the bucket and goes into the next cold room again, now to wait for boxing. So from that cold room, we are able to put them in boxes. Again, we put them according to the length, the specs of the customer. What are the specifications? Do they want us to do color mixing in the boxes? Do they want us to do straight colors? Then they put that, and the box is sealed and taken to the third cold room, whereby it's await to be loaded to our cold trucks, and our cold trucks can take the flowers to Kigali International Airport.
Consumption of natural flowers locally in Rwanda is still relatively low. This reflecting a culture of buying plastic flowers that are considered cheaper and long-lasting. However, this has gradually changed time after time.
In the last 5 months, I can tell you growth has been way above 20%. We no longer have discard, whereby, normally even the discard would be used in the farm, but we also want to teach people to really appreciate the flowers. But you find that now we don't discard much. We are selling more of what would have been discarded to the local market.
These days, people have grown to love natural flowers in comparison to the days before. They still buy the plastic flowers, but not as before. Now we get all clients from all 4 provinces coming to buy our natural flowers, so we are seeing growth in the market for natural flowers.
We are not yet there as a country. We are still embracing this culture. We want to create market for it, but the number we are producing cannot be consumed in this market. And the project was majorly to bring us the foreign revenue. So we are getting that through exports. But needless to say that we are not looking at local market like there is no market. It's there and it's growing. And about 10% of what we produce actually do go to the local markets. This is 10% of what we grade from here, either by length. We can sort either by length, by quality, not to mean that it's bad quality. Either the flower is too open for the local market because it takes days to get to the market. So should we send open flowers from here, it means we are already sending a blossomed flower to the market. So we tend to keep it here because it's open enough for our market, and we can use it for our weddings. We can use it in our offices, other events that are happening in the country. Yeah, and we are truly hoping this grows to something bigger so that they are able also to take more. We have more of what we would want the local market to consume, but the people have not embraced the flower culture completely.
With about 5% annual growth of area under flower production, there is much potential for the sector to pull in more revenue on sales, both locally and internationally. However, the local markets are highly dependent on seasonal changes, while the international markets are determined by the quality of the produce.
Our flowers have very good quality, and we are producing very good flowers. You can see from our colors, and we rarely have complaints from the market. So if the market that we have sustained for 2 years now says it's okay, I have the confidence to tell the buyers, yes, my flowers are good quality, you have to take Bella flowers. The quality is good, but sometimes the cut stages, the length of the stem, or maybe the demand of the customer was actually not what we produced from the greenhouses. And then what determines the market locally is the seasons. We have high seasons here. Currently, we would say like between January and March now. This is a low season for the local market. Then we have the high season around June, July, where we have a lot of weddings. So locally, that's a high market. And December is also a high market. But when you compare our calendar locally and our calendar for the export market, the seasons are more on Valentine, Mother's Day, Women's Day, events that are recognized globally, which is different here, whereby it's the weddings. What do you have as a national celebration day? Events like such.
With our markets, getting clients is highly dependent on the seasons. When it's rainy season, we don't do a whole lot. The sales drop and the clients are very few, but when we have holidays and celebrations like weddings, we get a very good number of clients, and it's the peak for our flower markets. Sometimes you get like 20 clients a day, or buying many in bulk, or even 50 clients, or even 5 depending on the season. Mostly in January, February and March we have a low market for the flowers, which is very different from the relatively higher dry season market of July, August, September all the way to December.
Farmers say they still face various logistic challenges with getting the farm input from neighboring countries, but on the brighter side, they've managed to source packaging material locally.
Yeah, biggest challenge I will say it's logistics, availability of inputs, because chemical fertilizer still coming from Kenya. But we succeed in finding the packing material like boxes, SFK, that is craft liner, to wrap the flower bunch, then rubber bands, sellotapes. This we have succeeded in find the local source. So packing material we are getting from Rwanda itself now. We have sourced internally, but still the inputs coming from Kenya like chemicals and fertilizer. So we are talking to them, we are meeting them so that they have their branch here in Kigali, so that they can make a stock of here, and when we need the inputs, they can make it available at the time when we want it. So logistics again, because Rwanda is flying 3 times in a week, but sometimes we are sending by Brussels Airlines 1 time or 2 times in a week. So 4 to 5 times we are sending. So we are expecting Rwanda Air to fly 5 to 6 times in a week. So that will help our flowers to get fresh to reach to Holland and Europe.
And that's pretty much where we leave it on this episode of Doing Business in Rwanda. But before we go, a quick recap. We did see the country registering close to $21 million in the year 2017 from 12 million, just 12 million in 2016. What this means is that there is more growth that is happening in the horticulture sector, but sector players do argue that much and more investment needs to be done. Now, as the country opens up its business opportunities with RDB, there is more growth that is expected to come in by the year 2018, 2019 and moving forward. But before we go, we can assure you that if you have any suggestions to this episode of Doing Business in Rwanda or need any further details, you can simply send us an email to dbir@abn360.com or tweet us at DBI Rwanda. My name is Michael Mjisha, and from the entire Doing Business in Rwanda team, thank you very much for watching.